Welcome back. Today in this lecture, I'll be discussing about diffusion equation, which plays very important role in reactor theories. And also we discuss about boundary conditions that are used to solve this diffusion equation. In the operation of the reactor, what is most important is the conservation or balance of the neutrons. They should be conserved in the given volume under consideration. The time rate of change of density of the neutrons can be written as equal to the production of neutrons minus leakage of neutrons minus absorption of neutrons. Under steady state conditions, that means when n is constant with respect to time, then dou n by dou t will be equal to 0. Then we can write production minus leakage minus absorption is equal to 0, or by rearranging this equation 1, we can write production is equal to leakage plus absorption. This is valid only for steady state where n is equal to constant with respect to time. In the last class or in my last video lecture, I just discussed about the leakage term by using elementary theory of diffusion. The leakage is given by divergence of J. By using fixed law of diffusion, that leakage term can be written as d del square phi with a negative sign. The number of neutrons absorbed per centimeter cube per second, that will be equal to the absorption cross section into flux of the neutrons, and representing the production by symbol S, then you can write this equation 1 as dou n by dou t is equal to d del square phi minus sigma a phi plus S. This represents the leakage term, this represents the absorption term, and this is the source term, that is production. This equation 2 is referred to as diffusion equation, which is very important one and which is widely used in the reactor theory. But this equation which we obtained, that is diffusion equation, you can notice this is a differential equation. That means when you solve this differential equation, you get arbitrary constants of integration. That is why the solutions will not describe any physical system in reality. If you want to apply it for a specific case, what you have to do is you have to eliminate those arbitrary constants. How do you do that? To eliminate the arbitrary constants, one has to use boundary conditions. And how many boundary conditions are required? The boundary conditions should be sufficient to eliminate all the constants of integration. And the general boundary conditions that are used in the diffusion theory or in solving diffusion equation are the following. We assume that the neutron flux must be finite and non-negative, but it can be 0. And remember, we apply all these boundary conditions in the region of where the diffusion equation applies. And at the plane of interface between two media, if there are more than one media in the region where this diffusion equation is applied, then we take the net neutron current densities normal to the direction of interface or equal. We'll discuss it more in detail about this, and we also assume that the fluxes are equal on either sides. This is when you have interfaces, right? Next one, say this is how we apply. Say for example you have two media, and this is the interfacing separating these two media. Say you have medium A and medium B, and this line separates these two media. Then the densities, if you have neutrons coming from this direction, then if you represent it by Ja plus, that should be equal to Jb plus. That means you should have all these neutrons coming out in this region. Or if you have neutrons coming in this direction, right, Ja minus, then you should have same thing on Jb minus. That means on both sides the neutron densities should be equal. This is the expression for neutron density, that is for Ja plus, neutron coming in the positive uh, direction, that is Ja plus, that is equal to phi a by 4 minus lambda by 6 dou phi by dou x. We derived this expression in my previous video lecture. I am just making use of those equations now. Similarly, that Ja plus should be equal to Jb plus, or Ja minus should be equal to Jb minus. Only I told you this also in the last video lecture, only sign will change when you change the direction. Now you have two equations, and taking the difference between this phi and 4, if you subtract this equation from equation phi, then phi a by 4 minus phi a by 4, it will cancel. You will have minus lambda a by 3 into dou phi by dou x on the left hand side. On the right hand side, again this phi b by 4 and phi b by 4 will cancel. You will have 2 lambda by 6 into dou phi by dou x, or that is equal to minus lambda by 3 into dou phi b by dou x on the right hand side. This equation tells you that the densities are equal on either sides. This represents the density on the left hand side, and this represents the density on the right hand side. They should be equal. Not only that, if you add these two equations, say if you add this equation 4 with equation 5, then these two terms will cancel. Lambda by 6 dou phi by dou x and lambda by 6 dou phi by dou x. This is having negative sign, this is having positive sign, they will cancel. Similarly on the right hand side. Therefore, you get phi a is equal to phi b. That means the fluxes are equal. These are very important boundary conditions. Further, suppose say you have a medium and vacuum, then generally the flux will be decreasing exponentially. We have seen that in my last video lecture, that is given by e to the power of minus sigma r. With respect to r, it decreases, but at the interface, it cannot become zero all of a sudden. It will become zero, we assume that the flux will become zero at a linearly extrapolated distance. That means the flux will become zero at an extended distance. That is called as linearly extrapolated distance. It is also called as augmentation distance. This is when you have two media. That is when you have one medium and vacuum. When you have two media, then the flux will continue. So that is given by this kind of representation. But when you have a medium and vacuum, we assume that the flux will become zero at linearly extrapolated distance. What is that linearly extrapolated distance? We can use this equation. You can notice here there is no neutron coming from in the negative direction. No neutron will come in this direction. Only we have neutrons coming from this direction. Hence, we have to take only J minus. J minus that is number of neutrons or the neutron density in the negative direction. This neutrons, that will be equal to 0. Therefore, we write J minus, which is actually equal to phi naught by 4 plus lambda by 6 into dou phi by dou x, that will be equal to 0. And here this dou phi by dou x, that represents the slope at the boundary. And what is that dou phi by dou x? That dou phi by dou x, you can notice that will be equal to phi naught by d. Phi naught, this is the slope. What is the slope here? Slope is equal to, that is the adjacent side, opposite side by adjacent side. So phi naught by t, and it is negative. Minus phi naught by d, that is equal to the slope, dou phi by dou x. And that will be equal to, from this equation, dou phi by dou x will be equal to 6 phi naught by 4 lambda t. And if you cross multiply, and you will get d is equal to 2 by 3 times lambda t. This is actually according to elementary theory of diffusion. Already I have said the elementary theory that we have discussed is not an exact method, it is an approximate method. but more exact theories gives you the value to be equal to 0.7104 times lambda t, rather 2 by 3 times lambda 3. Remember, these boundary conditions or the linearly extrapolated distance is not just applicable only for rectangular systems. It can be used even for spherical reactors, where the flux variation is independent of theta and phi. So even for such reactors, this equation can be applied. Using these boundary conditions, important boundary conditions, one can eliminate all the arbitrary constants invited by solving the diffusion equation. So in the next class we'll apply this diffusion equation for a particular type of reactor and we'll see the solution. Thank you.